Thank you for everybody who's an early bird and joining us for the meeting to start off the event. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kaye Wagner. I'm currently the chair of the board of directors, and we're thrilled to have you all here with us again. This morning, we're going to talk a little bit about some things you've heard before, just a reminder, for example, about our strategic objectives and some other things we do, touch a little bit on some financial information, and then we've got some new things the museum is doing to talk about. At the end, we will have a question and answer session. I've got some trivia questions with some prizes that people can win. And then we have a check presentation from the Lone Star Club. So a lot to go through this morning, but hopefully good information that you're happy to hear about. Okay, so of course, welcome to the home of the Corvette. A reminder about our mission, our vision, and our brand promise. This is something that the board worked on about 5 years ago now as part of our board retreat. If you notice me looking this way, I'm going to be continuing to look at Bryce because he makes sure I don't say anything too crazy. And you can see on here our mission, our vision, and our brand promise, as I said. Really, it's about the goal of being recognized as the epicenter of the Corvette community. And we mean that in every version of the word, for the people, for the cars, for anything that means something to Corvette. We want to be the place that you think of to come, to learn, to celebrate, to preserve. So keep these in mind. You can find these on our website. And we are committed to operating at the highest museum standards with exceptional experiences that leave a lasting impact and result in cherished memories. So this is our driving force when we think about what we're trying to accomplish, when we make decisions on the board, and we talk about what to do for our members. These are the things that are forefront in our mind. Again, some of this is things that you already know, but just to review the way our foundation is structured, we've got the National Corvette Museum Foundation, which is the overarching large foundation, and then under that we have the nonprofit side, which is the National Corvette Museum, and then the for-profit side, which is represented by the NCM Holdings Company, and under that is our insurance and our motorsports park. So this is our organizational chart. As far as those of us that work on the foundation board of directors, so again, you can see me at the top. From there, we have what's considered the executive committee, so that would be the immediate past chair, Kaye Spandy. He's currently in Alaska. I know, something about a cruise. I'm like, really? It's cold there, and you should want to be here, but I think it was get on the boat, Kaye, per his wife, so he followed the right rules. Our secretary, Dale Ledbetter, who also was told by Mr. Hendrick he had to come back to work. So you're going to see a theme. A few of our board members had some other commitments, but we're all here, part of our board meeting yesterday. Neil Watanabe is our treasurer, and he is in California. Also had to work today. And then our chair-elect, Michael LaRocca, who's involved with the nominating committee, is here. So the rest, we have several other board members. I'll have them stand up at the end so that you can see all of them. But that's the executive committee. There is a total of, or there can be up to 19 board members. We have 5 positions that are what are called pre-filled. So it's someone from GM, the GM plant director is on our board. We have the president of the National Council of Corvettes, which is Deb Murphy, she's here. We have a representative from NCRS, which right now is Vito Simaluka, who's in our front row as well. Norm Rose represents Western States Corvettes. And I'm forgetting somebody. NCRS and Amy Masika from GM. So those positions are related to the position that they have in other parts of their work. Then there are 14 what are called at-large positions that anyone can apply for. And we'll talk just a touch about that in a couple more slides, about how you might do that. At the bottom, you can see the committees that we use to work with. So these are what I call our working committees, meaning the things that are important that the museum is doing that focuses on some skill set that we like to have board members that can fill in some of those areas. And really, it's all of these committees are also served with multiple of our staff members. Each of our key leadership team members have one of those committees, or if not more than one. And really, we're trying to be an advisory team for our staff who's doing a knock it out of the park, amazing job. We as board members just to get to give advice and celebrate the wins while they do all the hard work. Okay, now we do have a new board member. Andy Pilgrim joined us this year as one of the at-large members. he is racing somewhere in Germany. So, there's only so much I could ask of our board members, and when you pick people who've got lots going on, the trade-off is virtual meetings and pictures instead of in person. But we're super excited to have Andy join the board. Obviously brings a wealth of knowledge about Corvettes and racing and just business background with the companies that he runs and the safe driving courses that he does. So he brings a component of education as well. So super excited to have Andy on our board. Okay, so how do you become a board member if you're interested? Basically, it's as simple as sending in a resume and a cover letter. Right now, that gets sent to Michael, and so his address is on there. Although I had a typo in how to spell museum, please spell it right or it won't go. If you're not sure, just send it to one of the staff and they can get it to us as board members. The only thing really required to be a board member, at least in the at-large positions, is a passion for the Corvette and for the museum, and you are expected to be a lifetime member of the museum. So all of us that are on the board are lifetime members. You can do that before you apply or if you already are, but that is something that we ask for, that commitment from our board members. And again, how are people selected? You go through a nominating process through the nominating committee. You can nominate yourself, you can have someone else nominate you. But basically what we're gonna ask for is your resume, your cover letter, your experience, and what committee you think you might fit into. And then from there, we'll try to fit you into open spots. And know that if you've applied and you don't necessarily get on, it doesn't mean never. It may just mean right now we don't have a spot for your skill set. So you can apply more than once if you're interested. There's always people that are leaving the board and spots opening up. So this is something we wanted to make sure people were aware of because we've had some questions about this process. Okay, I want to do some thank yous. First and foremost, to our volunteers. We had a nice recognition ceremony last night and party. I think everyone had a good time. So we truly appreciate everything that our volunteers do. We would not be able to get through everything the museum does or these events without you. So if I've got any volunteers in the room, if you would please stand up. I know a bunch of them are already out working, so. All right. And sort of in that same group, I'm going to jump around a little bit, but of course, our members and donors, again, this is why we want you all to know what we're doing so that you're informed and part of the museum and know how much you're valued to all of us, so thank you. There is a group within the members and donors called the Museum Ambassadors. They're a group that helps us communicate with members, helps get the mission, vision, and brand statement out to our public and to our guests. So do we have any ambassadors in the room? Okay, please stand up. Thank you guys for all you do for the museum. I know several of you represent multiple clubs and it's very much appreciated. We have an ambassador meeting on Saturday. Someone tell me if I'm right on that, thank you. And then if I'm remembering right, there's an ambassador academy in November. I've seen the schedule, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you are interested in coming, please do and share that with your clubs. And then of course, the group that truly make this all happen and have made this be a fun couple of years for me in this role, our staff, both from the museum, the insurance company, and the motorsports park. You guys, we are so blessed with an amazing group of people who come every day, give their time, give their energy. Doesn't matter what crazy idea we ask, what question I come up with, they find the answer. And it's just a really, really amazing group. So I'm gonna ask our staff to please stand. If you didn't see them around yesterday, I had them trapped in a board meeting, so we released them today to go and work. So please go say hi if you get a chance. And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our partnership with GM. I'm looking at all the beautiful cars they brought for us. I know there's a special edition out there, so be sure you go take a look at what they brought and talk to the engineering team that's here. And we have a great dinner tonight talking about the ZR1. So be a good group for everyone to meet. And we truly appreciate their support and their engagement with the museum. Okay, again, I think many of you have probably seen this, but these are our strategic objectives. These were worked on by the board and the staff during one of our retreats when we looked at the mission and vision. These are our key points that we keep out in front of us as we make our decisions. So the first is AAM accreditation, so that's the American Association of Museums. This is really a benchmark to make sure you are following all of the appropriate guidelines for how to run a museum, and that's everything from the storage facility you need to the educational programs that you're doing, and we're in the process of applying for that. The team right now is in the self-evaluation form, so we've had our documents looked at, and now we're in, I believe, an 18-month period where we do self-assessment and submit documents. So a very long process. The team is doing such a great job with all of those questions and forms and things that need to be submitted. And really this will be when the team gets it, because I know there's no doubt that we're going to. This is a feather in our cap. There are not very many museums that have this. This puts us on the same level as the Smithsonian and those types of museums. So very important to do this. Become a cherished community asset. That means, of course, to Bowling Green itself, because we are a huge impact on the Bowling Green community, but also to our Corvette community and the international community that we are out there as ambassadors for, because we all love to talk about our cars. We're always looking for ways to grow and diversify our earned and contributed revenue streams. You'll see a couple new ideas that the team has come up with for that. Intentional collections growth. So what we mean by that is we want to make sure we're bringing in artifacts and cars and macro things that tell the story, but also that we can give the appropriate care for. We don't want to take in something that we can't maintain or that isn't something we can give appropriate storage, because that's not the right use of that artifact. So that's become a major focus for our, specifically our collections team and committee. Looking for new generations of Corvette enthusiasts. The Corvette is getting so much notice from new owners and getting into a market share that's not been there before. So it's a great opportunity for us to bring new people into the museum. And, oh, wait, that's a good sound. We have to, yeah. Make sure that we are sharing our love and our joy of our cars with all the young people that want to hear about them. I happened to be at a gas station not too long ago and had some little guy about 5 years old come running over, and he's like, "Is that a Corvette?" I said, "Yes, it is. Can I sit in it?" Yep. I don't think the grin went away for about a day and a half, according to his mom. So that was pretty fun. And then, of course, developing a master campus plan, really trying to look at what are the needs of the museum, the motorsports park, the insurance company, and looking forward 5, 10, 20 years for what our campus will look like and all that we're doing on our campuses. Okay, let's talk a little bit about membership. Why become a member? Well, all of you already know, but because it's a great thing to do. But if anyone's asking you why, the real goal of members is to support the mission of the National Corvette Museum, educate worldwide audiences on the evolution of the Corvette through collection, preservation, and celebration of its legacy. We are up to almost 34,000 active memberships. That is a 10% increase since 2024. And then we have over 44,000 members. So if you're wondering why there's a difference, the memberships can reflect business, family memberships. The number of active members is all the people accounted for by those. So, and again, that's up 12% from 2024. And I want to take the opportunity to give a shout out to Andrea, our Director of Membership. She and her team have done amazing work on getting those numbers up and getting people re-engaged and excited about the museum. So. You can see some of the highlights that we've started a new member email series. Membership processing has been reduced to 48-hour response, which is very impressive in this day and age. We've got 7 new business lifetime members. That's a relationship with corporate sponsors or people from the area, so a really amazing get on that. And trying to make sure that we've got member-centric content in the newsletter. You also can see we had a Member Appreciation Day. That was in June, I believe, was the most recent one. We had 175 people come, 132 that wanted virtual links. We had 15 states represented and over 9,000 Instagram highlight views. So you can see that we are getting people interested, and we have another Membership Appreciation Day coming up, so keep on the lookout for that. Also, to our ambassadors, we have over 360 ambassadors. They represent across 45 states. Actually, I'm supposed to say 46 because Andrea is counting me as an ambassador from South Dakota now, with 11 international clubs and 5 national organizations. So a really wide breadth of people who love the car and want to share their passion for it. A couple other things. This is some of the news and announcements and emails that have been going out. Our marketing team has been working on doing this. They also send out a communication to ambassadors so that they can send that out to club members and help tell our stories and what's going on. Okay, a couple of updates. So hopefully you can go and take a look at the restoration work that was done on Zora's 1974 Corvette. So our preservation team did this. Please go and find Dan and the team and talk to them about all the steps that went into this, because I saw it in the process. I know I keep using the word amazing, but what the team did was just really remarkable. And the car looks really, really cool. It's now sitting at the end of the Hall of Fame hallway, so you can see it as you walk down that pathway, or you can see it when you're in the Sky Dome. They really focused on preserving the historic context of the vehicle, getting it stabilized because of some issues that it had, and getting it restored to its factory standards. This is another place where the museum's mission and goals overlapped. There was also an education component to this. We had an intern that was part of this process who's going to one of the only colleges in the country to learn vehicle restoration and preservation for museums. So it was an opportunity to teach that next generation as well. As I already said, we've got the new Hall of Fame hallway. So this is a process that's been going on over the last year. What we wanted to do was be able to bring the Hall of Fame to people. We have the great banners, and it's fun to go and look at those, but there isn't really a way to interact with those. So now within the hallway, the banners are still in the Sky Dome, and they will continue to be, but then we have this hallway now where you can go and see all of the banners replicated on smaller plaques. And then there's also interactive touch screens that you can go and look at. And each category is represented. So if you see a name on the enthusiast category, you go over to one of the touch screens, find that person's picture, and you'll get a little bit of a short story about how they got into the Hall of Fame and their story. At the end of the Hall of Fame, the current inductees for the year will have displays set up, so you can see our members-elect being displayed in there. And so again, something just really exciting. This work was all done by our team and our facilities team that made these amazing panels, and again, just really, really cool to take a look at. So please go and do that if you haven't already seen it. Okay, the 2024 annual report. Hopefully you all got these in the mail or digitally. You've taken had a chance to look at them. The key things that are covered are the financials, our giving societies, and our education and collections updates. So please take a look at that if you haven't already. Just to give you some information as far as financial. People are trying to work, and I'm just trying to talk. So you can see we've got this laid out. This goes through July of 2025 as far as when the book closed on this. So you can see our store sales, admissions, raffle tickets continue to be a nice driver for us. The gifts, donations, and sponsorships, that represents all of you who are part of supporting this museum and that we truly couldn't do it without. You can see our delivery program. Our investment income obviously goes up and down depending on the market, and then our landlord and shared services. So that's, for example, lease or shared services for Motorsports Park, and we've got some land that we lease to some farmers, so that's the type of thing that's in that. So for a total revenue of $11.8 million. And then if you look at our expenses, you can see payroll and benefits is a large part of it, but we have a good staff and we need to make sure that we're rewarding them appropriately. Cost of goods sold is what we're selling in the store, advertising, printing, some other expenses. So you can see that the group is pretty well balanced. Tourism and other things are down this year, so we're definitely seeing the hit of some of that. But the full story also includes our investment balance and our cash accounts. So this is the money that's available to us if there was ever something that we needed to do. So overall, the museum is sitting in a really good place at over $29 million. Okay, I know you're all familiar with our raffles. So definitely want to encourage you to be part of that. And raffles are doing great, but we're noticing that there's a lot of people that are raffling Corvettes or raffling cars, and the market's gotten a little bit saturated. So one of the things that the team started to explore as part of that diversifying our earned revenue is a sweepstakes option. So it's a little different approach to how you can buy the tickets or get your hands on the tickets, which opens things up. We also thought it would be a good opportunity to give away a different type of car. So if you haven't already seen this on our turnstile, this is the car that's up for our sweepstakes right now. You can buy tickets for both. We'd love to have you buy tickets for both, but this is a new thing that's just gotten started. So this lovely green car is available for you to get sweepstakes tickets on. You can go on the website and use a promo code, or you can scan a QR code if you want to find one of the staff to get one of those. Really unlimited entries. And this will run through December. I believe we plan to give this away December 28th. Andy? 29th, thank you. So keep out for that. And because you got up early and came this morning to hear the meeting, I have a code for you. So if you go and look to buy tickets, you will get 30% extra numbers of tickets for the money that you spend if you put in the promo code 31ST, so meaning 31st anniversary. This does expire September 2nd, so use it while you can. All right, and hopefully you all saw the car and driver article that was out. So it's the 70th anniversary of Car and Driver. Corvette was, of course, the best choice to put on the first cover of their 70th anniversary editions. You can see the ZR1 sitting in the center. All the cars surrounding it are museum cars. Marketing and collections was a big part of this process. And the picture that you're looking at on the cover of Car and Driver, taken in the room you're sitting in. The cars were all in here, and they were staged in here, and the pictures were all taken in here. So you can see there's a nice blurb in the corner of the main article about the ZR1, where it says Into History. That's talking about the Corvettes that were provided by the museum. This is really something that our marketing and collections team made happen, gave us an audience that I don't think we've ever really been exposed to in this way before. So you can see some of the background pictures down in the corner here as they were staging the photo. That's literally right here in this room. So this is on newsstands right now. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, please go take a look. The article about the ZR1 is amazing and fun to just see the museum being recognized in that. All right. We also wanted to touch a little bit about delivery experience. Again, I know everyone knows, or hopefully everyone knows, about the new delivery, but we have a couple other options that you can do for delivery experiences as well. So you can do a new-to-me delivery experience. So you can bring a car that isn't brand new and go through that whole same process, have the chance to get your pictures taken and have the whole experience. I can tell you that when I bought my first Corvette, I am ashamed to know or admit I didn't know about the delivery process. With the second one I did. What an amazing difference. Wow, it's a good thing it's not a game where you're all drinking when I say amazing. What a difference to get a chance to go through delivery compared to when I didn't. And there's also the opportunity to do an R8C junior delivery. That's for the little remote control cars that are out there. I got to see a little girl do it during our event in April. Again, the big grin on her face as she got to drive out Victory Lane in her little car. Now, if you're wondering, they are remote controlled, so if the person in the car isn't old enough to actually drive it, it can be controlled for them. But if you've got grandchildren, nieces, nephews, kids that you want to do this for, it looks to be a really cool experience. Okay, I think that's all we've got as far as things we wanted to cover. So like I said, we've got question and answer time if people have questions they want to ask. Otherwise, I've got a couple trivia questions. And if you get an answer right, you will get one of these Coca-Cola bottles, which has a picture of the spire and the Sky Dome on the back of it. We don't recommend that you drink these. These are commemorative. Okay. Well, I'll throw out the first one just because people are a little shy this morning with questions. Excuse me, I got to put my glasses on so I can read my phone. Okay, since it's Hall of Fame weekend, how many members are in the Corvette Hall of Fame? Yeah. 157 is a little high. I will say we're less than 100 right now. 89 is really close. Drop a couple more, Tom. One more. 86, there you go. And simply because I always think this is cool, there are 4 women in the Corvette Hall of Fame, soon to be 5. So. All right, let's see if you guys are paying attention to our website. How many webcams can you watch on our website? Keep going. It's like 11 or 12. Do you know where they are? Okay. You technically forgot one. So there's 8 delivery spots. There's the front circle, the logo circle, and Corvette Boulevard, and then bonus for the north and south MSP cameras. Okay. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, definitely take a look. It's fun to see everybody getting their deliveries. All right, here's another one. How many cars went into the sinkhole? 8. There we go. Bonus points if you can tell me how big the hole was. So this is all on the website. Didn't have to work hard to find it. I heard 30 feet deep. That's correct. And I'm totally just blanked on your name. I'm sorry. Sitting in front of David from Lone Star. He got the number of cars that went in. Yeah. 40 feet deep, 60 feet long, 40 feet wide, 60 feet long, and 30 feet deep. Okay, one last question. This is maybe out there a little bit more, but I'm curious to see if anyone's got a good guess. How tall is the spire? Close, a little higher. It's over 100. A little more than 110. Close, but still not quite. I heard 122, you're really close. So I would say whoever came up with 122 is close enough. It's 128 feet tall, the spire, or the red part. Oh. All right. Again, that's my trivia, so it's open to questions from the group. So it kind of depends on how you define that, and I'm going to let Bryce help me with that because some of them are in storage, some of them are on display, so I'm going to let the team help me answer that.
So right now we have approximately 55 Corvettes actually on display in the museum. We of course have over 100 collection. Oh, thank you. That makes more sense. That's what technology is for, right? So we have over 55 Corvettes currently on display in the museum. We have over 100 in our collection, and then we're very fortunate to have cars all over the country at other museums that are on loan, including one at the Smithsonian and one up in Louisville. So right now, around 55 are actually on the floor. What is the significance of the spire?
That, I've been told, depends on who you ask, because I've had some people say that it's supposed to look like a Corvette taillight. I've had others say that it looks like a speedometer from the top. So that's part of why I didn't ask that question as trivia, because I found conflicting responses. Do you know? Oh, okay. I was like, if somebody knows the story, I'm more than happy to hear it, because that one I have heard different answers to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have Andrea answer that. The question was about membership for grandchildren. There is a legacy membership you can do, and she's going to be the best to tell you about that.
Yes, one of the benefits of being a lifetime member is that you can pass that legacy on to your grandchildren, children, or nephews and nieces under the age of 18. It's a $1,000 one-time payment, and then when you pass, they'll get family membership perks until your passing, and then when you pass, they take on your lifetime membership. And you can see Georgia. She just stepped out for a moment, or myself, if you need any further information, we'd be happy to help you set that up.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't hear all of that, so I'm going to let Macy get you the microphone.
Is the museum going to partner closer with McPherson College out in Kansas to help take care of the collection that's in storage?
Right. So that's part of our internship program, which is one of our educational components. We have multiple interns that are in the museum in different areas, and that's one that we continue to work with. So it's a great place for them to get hands-on experience and actually for us to hopefully train our future employees. So that's an ongoing process. So the question was, if you've got a 2022 C8, would it be better to sell it and give the money to the museum or to give us the car? That's really going to be a good question for our collections team, because we'd appreciate it either way, of course, but we want to make sure we have at least one example of all generations. So it would depend on if you're ready to give it up. Okay. Okay. So we need to get you connected to Robert so we can talk about that. Thank you. Everyone heard that. We just got a car donation. So thank you, Jim. Other questions? All right, I'm going to throw out one last trivia question and then we'll bring Lone Star up. Does anyone know who designed the logo? Larry Shinoda. It was actually, we think, designed in the 60s as a possible logo for the Corvette, and it got brought out, initially used by NCRS, and then ultimately turned over to the museum for our logo. Okay, well, thank you guys all for coming, and we're going to ask our Lone Star friends to come up. You guys want to tell us a little bit about what you did to raise this money? And
the third weekend of May every year, the Lone Star Corvette Club holds our classic in DFW. If you haven't been, you need to come. Well, get some good Texas hospitality. We turn over all the revenues that we make. We donate 40% to the museum. And we have 3 rotating charities. We donate 20% of the money to each of those charities. Our donation for this year to the museum is here. Give you a check for $14,800.
thank you guys so much. All of us that are involved with car shows know that it's a major effort to make those happen, and when that hard work gets translated into support of the museum, it just couldn't be more appreciated. So thank you to all of you that do that and all of you that are our supporters. I think that's it. Go enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you all for attending the membership update. At 10:15 in the conference center, we'll be having an autograph session with our members of the Corvette Hall of Fame. Until then, if you want to head to the library and archives, feel free to check out our silent auction. Thank you and see you soon.